There was only chaos at first, the yawning nothingness. Then 3 more primordial gods emerged, either by themselves or from the formless emptiness: Gaia, Earth; Tartarus, the underworld; and Eros, love. Gaia and Chaos, 2 feminine goddesses, were able to multiply and mold everything known and unknown in the cosmos once love arrived. Nyx, night, and Erebus, darkness, were born out of chaos. Ether, the luminous upper air, and Hemera, the day, arose from Erebus's union with his sister Nyx while they slept. After that, Night created her own family of spectral entities, terrifying everyone but her brother. Her progeny included the vile Moros, Doom; the black Cur, Death; Thanatos, Death; Hypnos, Slumber; Oniroi, Daydreams; Jera, Old Age; Oizus, Sadness; Nemesis, Revenge; Eris, Strife; Apate, Deceit; Momos, Since; and the Hesperides, the daughters of the evening. In the meantime, Uranus, the starry sky, was born on Gaia. Gaia married Uranus, who surrounded her from all sides. The 3 one-eyed Cyclopes, the 3 hundred-handed Hecaton Chiris, and the 12 Titans were the 3 sets of offspring they shared. Still, Uranus was a harsh father and a nasty husband. He didn't want to let his kids live because he detested them. He therefore imprisoned them in Gaia's womb, one of the Earth's dark places. Gaia was incensed by this and conspired against Uranus with her sons. She attempted to encourage her children to assault Uranus while also crafting a harpy and a large, stubborn sickle. All save Cronus, the youngest Titan, were too terrified. Cronus' revenge Uranus is set up for an ambush by Gaia and Cronus. Cronus used a sickle to castrate him as he was getting ready to lie with Gaia, discarding his severed genitalia into the sea. What became of Uranus after that is unknown. He may have died, withdrawn from the planet, or banished to Italy. The giants, the Melii, the ash-tree nymphs, and the Erinyes, the Furies, rose from the blood that his castration had spilled on the planet. His genitalia falling into the water created sea foam, from which the goddess of beauty, Aphrodite, emerged. Cronus succeeded as king. He put the dragoness Campe in charge of watching over the Cyclopes and Hecaton Chiris while they were imprisoned in Tartarus. He wed the Titaness Rhea, his sister, and together they had 5 children. But both Gaia and Uranus had predicted that one of Cronus's sons would eventually depose him. Similar to his father, Cronus mistreated his offspring, consuming them all at birth. Like Gaia before him, Rhea plotted to assassinate her husband because she was upset about the way Cronus was treating her kids. When it was time for Rhea to give birth to her 6th child, she fled to Crete on her mother's advice, leaving the infant to be reared by the nymphs on the island. In order to hide her performance, she dressed a stone in swaddling cloths and presented it to Cronus as the infant. Unaware of her plan, Cronus swallowed the stone once more. The young one was Zeus. He was raised in a cave on the Cretan Mount Ida by the she-goat Amalthea, the nymphs Adrasteia and Ida, and he soon developed into a lovely lad. When the time came, he left Crete to seek instruction from the Titaness Metis, Wisdom, who would become his future wife, on how to vanquish Cronus. In response, she made a concoction that looked just like Cronus's preferred wine and was meant to make him throw up for a long time. After taking on the persona of the god's cupbearer, Zeus eventually managed to sneak Cronus a drink that belonged to Metis. The plot was executed flawlessly. Only after spitting up the stone did Cronus begin to vomit and release all 5 of Zeus's siblings. Zeus later sent 2 eagles to meet at the center of the globe, and they set up the stone at Delphi, which came to be known as Omphalos, or the navel. Rhea's offspring, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, acknowledged Zeus as their leader, overwhelmed with gratitude. But Cronus remained supreme and would not be subdued. Though he was too old to defend himself against his offspring's attacks, he sought the support of the devoted Titans, who shared his terror of the new breed of gods. This resulted in the Titanomachy, a 10-year conflict between the Olympians and Titans that is remembered by future generations. As the leader of the Titans, Atlas guided his army to numerous victories. It even appeared as though Zeus would lose at one point. But he traveled to Tartarus on Gaia's guidance, and there he freed the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclopes. Zeus received his thunderbolt from the Cyclopes as a token of their appreciation. They also fashioned a trident for Poseidon and an invisibility helmet for Hades. The tables had turned. But, as had happened so many times before, the ultimate triumph would come via a crafty little ruse, possibly from Prometheus, who had previously resigned from the Titans' army rather than from sheer force. Hecatoncheires, armed with boulders, ambushed the Titans. Zeus pulled back his army just in time to lure the Titans into the Hecatoncheires' snare. The Titans were so enraged by the hundred-handed one's torrential downpour of rocks that they believed the mountains were collapsing on them. Zeus could now genuinely claim to be the king of the universe once they fled. There would be few challenges to Zeus's power thereafter. Following the Titanomachy, his grandmother Gaia gave birth to the hideous Typhon as her final child, furious at her offspring being imprisoned. Zeus didn't hesitate to confront the most terrifying of the gods, who fled from him the moment they laid eyes on him. He fought the beast and subdued it with the help of his lightning bolts. After that, Typhon was buried in Sicily beneath Mount Etna. Under the volcano, they claim, you can still hear him roaring, and that he will come back to confront Zeus once more at some far-off time in the future.